Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us. We're going to start in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Soldiers have fired shots and tear gas into the air to disperse protesters in the eastern city of Beni. That is one of three areas where people will not be allowed to vote for a new president on Sunday. There have also been protests in nearby Goma. On Wednesday, the Election Commission blamed militia violence and the Ebola outbreak for its decision to delay the vote in the cities of Beni, Butembo, and Yumbi. All three of these are opposition strongholds. People are angry at being denied the chance to cast their ballots on Sunday. They'll do so in March, but by then the official result is expected to have already been announced. The vote in the rest of the country, that is scheduled to go ahead as planned on Sunday.
The coalition
Lamuka is demanding all Congolese categorically refuse to obey this decision. It constitutes an order that's clearly illegal, according to Article 28 of the Constitution, and calls for a day of general protests across the country this Friday.
Let's speak to Maurice Carney. He is the Executive Director for Friends of Congo. Maurice, thanks for joining us. First of all, let's look at the reasons given for the delay in these three cities, because previously all the declarations had been that Ebola and the risk of violence from militias would not delay the vote. And now here we are. What do you make of it?
Exactly. In order for the global community to understand what is unfolding in the Congo, they have to look at it from the point of view that the regime, the Kabila regime, is trying to orchestrate the rigging of the elections. And they're doing so in a very incompetent and mediocre fashion. And when you look at the excuses that the Electoral Commission has put forward, you'll see that they're without standing. On December 8th, the Minister of Health, Dr. Lunga, clearly stated that Ebola would not have an impact on the elections itself. The questions of security are not founded. The candidates had campaigned in Beni and Butembo with hundreds of thousands of people coming out. So the excuses that are being put forward by the Electoral Commission are not only not founded, but they're actually illegal. They don't have the authority. It's the Constitutional Court that would determine whether or not a certain segment of the population can vote or not. And we've seen this before. During the end of the electoral campaign, the governor of Kinshasa abruptly interrupted and prohibited candidates from campaigning. And so in order for people to understand what is unfolding, they need to see it in the context of a regime that's trying to hold on to power by any means necessary, and they're doing it in a very incompetent and mediocre fashion.
And we're talking about an election that's already 2 years delayed. We're talking about more than 1 million people being denied their chance to vote until after the official results are announced. How is the government going to stop this turning violent in those three cities?
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen violence throughout the campaign period. The question is to what extent it's going to be more violent. We saw a tremendous amount of violence from the state in Lubumbashi, the southern city in the Congo, when the opposition candidate Martin Fayulu was campaigning. The government blocked his motorcade. The government unleashed tear gas, hot water tanks, and even fired live bullets on his supporters, killing a number of supporters. So without a doubt, the way the government is organizing these elections, the way the government is confronting and attacking the opposition figures, it is in fact going to be more violent. That is what is predictable. And we see a situation where the Electoral Commission has said that 1.2 million voters cannot participate in the elections. On the other hand, the voter rolls, there are about 6 million voters that are not verified. They're without fingerprints, and the Electoral Commission is including those 6 million. So all of this, these efforts are leading towards naming Kabila's successor, the one that he's designated, Emmanuel Ramazani Shadari, to be president. What's left is for the Congolese people to really take matters into their own hands, to disrupt what the government is trying to impose on them, and and go into the streets as they've done in Beni and Butembo and Goma this morning. And I think we'll see more Congolese in the streets as we get closer to the election day.
Maurice, really appreciate your time. Maurice Carney speaking to us from Washington, D.C.